what prompted you to join at 17? Like what made you pull that trigger?
So I'm gonna be honest, I don't know. um, I don't even remember when I started talking to the army recruiter. It was like he was that good. I was just one day just talking to him. Um, like going down to the armory talking about joining. I was like, okay, I guess I'm here now.
What armory?
It was I can't remember whose it is. I want to say it's either 179 or 279 out in Broken Arrow. It's like they've got like a tiny little one
Mm-hmm.
off on one of the back streets, kind of. But I mean, it's a tiny little armory actually. But but yeah, no, I was just talking to him, and in my mind, I was just kind of playing around with the idea of it. I'm like, I'm 16, about to be 17. You can't join the army till you're 18. I've got some time. We'll talk this out.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then before I know it, I'm at MEPS and they're putting a contract in front of me. And I was like, whoa. But I knew I was going to join at some point. I come from a military family. Um, and I was originally planning on joining the Air Force, but they didn't
Like
return my
so many before.
yeah, yeah, like everybody. It was kind of funny. My grandpa took me to an air show one time, and they had an Air Force recruiter there, and he walks me over to their table. He's like, "Can we get this guy to join?" And the recruiter's like, "Well, how old is he?" And my grandpa's like, "He's 8."
He's eight.
And the recruiter's like, maybe wait about 10 years and we'll get back to you.
That's
But
awesome.
so originally I was going to go Air Force because his grandpa was Air Force back in
Mm-hmm.
the 60s.
Mm-hmm.
But they didn't return my calls. Wasn't smart enough, I guess. But so I joined the Army and was going to do it eventually, like I said. But, the college benefits, I was like,
Sure.
I'm planning on going to college right after high school. May as well get them now.
Yeah.
So.
So you joined the Army National Guard right as you turned 17. So how does that process look like? So I know a little bit about it just because I was in the pre program, probably like you were for a little bit. You probably had to report to an RTI. So
Yeah.
what's cool about the Army National Guard is that whenever you join, you're getting paid immediately. Like you're already cashing that paycheck, but you have to report. Even though you haven't gone to basic training, you have to report to what we call an RTI or a readiness training. Uh, what does the I stand for? I don't even
So
know.
so RTI is Regional Training Institute.
Readiness
That
training.
that one's more
RSP.
multifaceted.
Oh,
RSP.
RSP is the program, Recruit Sustainment Program.
gotcha. That's my bad. So it's RSP when you're in the enlisted portion of it. So Duchan, like myself, whenever I first joined the Army National Guard, you report to an RSP. And which RSP was the one in Sand Springs?
Yep.
Okay, so we went to the one in Sand Springs like I did, and you go down there and they have they usually have a drill sergeant. When I was there, they actually didn't have drill sergeants very many times when I was down there, but they have a sergeant who's in charge of the PT, and then you just basically learn. You sit in classrooms all day and listen to kind of customs and stuff, and people who are there that work there that are NCOs that work there, or not even NCOs, it could be anybody.
A
That
lot
there.
of them are just recruiters,
Yeah.
too. So like I said, the recruiters keep track of them.
Yeah, so they basically tell you stories about their basic training stuff to try to get you prepared, but I'll tell you, nothing gets you prepared for it until you actually go. But so you did that for how long did you do that until you went to basic? Like how long did you report to the RTI, and how was that kind of experience between going to RTI on weekends and having being in high school at the same time?
So I was split ops since I was still in high school. So I was actually with RSP for 2 years,
Mm.
which was yeah, it was not fun. Which like it's great to have that preparation, but I would want like 6 months max maybe.
Mm-hmm.
But so it was kind of interesting. Like you go and you do the whole army thing, and then you go home and you wake up the next day and go to high school. It was kind of a weird feeling. And back then, before I went to basic, they're a lot since you don't have your uniforms yet. They're a lot more lax on like the hair and all that stuff. So I still had like Justin Bieber hair, and so it wasn't like a full like. It felt like I was just showing up to a club almost.
Yeah.
Um, and and then I just go to school. And then after my junior year, I go off to basic training, and I come back, and man, I must have scared everybody because I come back bald, and I'm like, I've got like weird tan lines, and um, I'm like shivering all the time because I'm used to it being really hot outside. But that's when it kind of started to feel more real because I'm getting a haircut every month before RSP drill. And I'm actually, I'm putting on a uniform. I'm taking it seriously, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
So it was interesting.
I will say that's actually what he said. It being like a club is more of an apt description than being like Army. Because like I said, it doesn't feel like you're in the Army when you go to the RSP. Like it just feels like you're just there to do PT, learn customs and stuff, and then clean up.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's good because I mean, like you're getting paid to do simple work. That's why it's fine. But again, it's a great way for him to describe it because that's what it is. You're just like, it's surreal. You're like, I'm in the Army, but it doesn't feel like I'm in the Army. I don't have the uniform. I don't have any of the, and nobody really, like, they treat you like you're in the Army there. So I say it is like a club, and like, they do a great job prepping people for it. But again, nothing preps you for the intensity that is basic training. So